Season 2 of the Pat and JT podcast.
Oh man, I'm here at last. The best time, always gonna be the best. Come on!
Exclusively on the Hurrdat Media Network.
All right.
Our first episode of 2021. It already feels better, lighter, easier, less drama
Well,
in 2021. It's been a few days, so
I hope everybody had an opportunity to just kind of unwind a little bit over the break. And, because I think for 4 days, I didn't even leave my house.
yeah.
I'm not going to say I wasn't wearing the same clothes all 4 of those days.
You know what? That's not even odd, though. Ever since we all
I know.
experienced 2020, it's not even odd to say I didn't leave my house or change pants for 4 days.
I just was like, I did take a shower in there.
That's good.
So, okay. So I did get that in there. But yeah, it was
Taking a shower and putting on the same clothes you had on before, it's fine.
different underpants.
Well, well,
That's I want because for some people that's not even
just go from maybe underpants to no
Maybe
underpants
no.
when you have the shower.
Oh
It doesn't
my God.
really matter. Yeah, it doesn't. It's
just crazy. But
there were for the first time during this whole quarantine. Because usually we would still have the opportunity to come into the office because there weren't a lot of people here and whatever. So we would normally have to put on human clothes normally,
Right.
but during these 2 weeks. Sometimes I got up and I slept in pants, like sweet sleep pants, got up, took off my sleep pants and put on sweats. And then at the end of the day,
My
took
day
off my
pants
sweats.
and my
put on
night pants.
Right. So you have dress sweats and you have sleep pants.
and neither of those are outside pants.
Oh, I'm not going to say
They're
that.
not- they shouldn't be.
No,
neither
just
one should go either.
Defer them
It-
and you can take them out.
I tell you what, man.
fine.
Yeah, I laid down on. I have one of those. You may have seen them on Facebook or some other places, but they have these huge throws, and they're made. I think I bought it off Twitter. Actually, I'm not even sure, but it's called Paw or Paw.com or something. But these throws, and they're really fuzzy on the top.
Mm-hmm.
They're waterproof. So if your dog's wet or dirty or whatever, and you can just throw them on your couch, and I got a couple of them, and the cats and the dog love them. Like the cats just like melt into them. They roll around. It's just like, oh my God, did they spray these things down with pheromones or something? But love them. So that's on my couch. So I decided to lay down on the couch to watch whatevs. And I took a nap the other day. Took a lot of naps.
Yeah.
Anyway, I got up and I was like, I was just a big hairball. You can't see it because the color of this fur is kind of like a dark gray. So it hides. You can't see how much hair is in there.
yeah, right.
And I was covered. Like, oh my God. No, thank God I got this blanket because I'd never get this out of the couch. You can vacuum it. You can
That's
clean
awesome.
it. It's pretty slick. But yeah, so I had to find the super duper heavy duty roll of whatever those things, those little roller brushes are
Oh,
called.
yeah.
The
stickies?
wand. Yeah, and I had to get the large furniture size one that I have in because that stuff's super. It's so sticky when you take the label off, the labels rip.
That's awesome.
It won't let go of the label,
That's-
so it doesn't have a label on it.
That is, though that's neat, even for clothes, though. Sometimes those little hairs, especially cat hairs,
Yeah.
get down inside the fabric.
You can't get them out.
It's terrible.
And you do the same
terrible.
thing you do when you're vacuuming. You'll vacuum over and over and over and over something trying to pick it up instead of just
grab
picking it up.
Just grab it. Oh yeah, there have been times that I've chased a gum wrapper into the corner and again dunk, dunk, dunk with a vacuum. It's like, dude, just bend over, and then you pick it up and you lift up
and then you suck it up
Yeah.
into the vacuum.
I do like
Yes.
though, and living with two women that they shed more than cats do with their hair.
Oh, it's
and it
true.
gets around the little roller ball thing. I love turning the vacuum on, taking scissors, cutting the hair, pulling it, and then
my
letting it
God.
suck back in. It's super satisfying.
Mine used to do that. My new one, it's the shark. I can't remember the name of it, but that's one of its features that hair won't get caught on the roller.
Is it true?
So far, so good.
Really?
Because I used to fill the roller. Mm-hmm. Oh, way more than the cats or dogs did.
Right, which is crazy. And then all women have all their hair. It's like there's a wad of hair in the shower. There's a wad in the bathroom.
How are you not bald?
Right.
Right.
I don't get it. And especially with hair being this long, like that takes at least 12 years to grow? Like forever. How are you guys not bald when you use that many
Crazy.
hairs?
It's absolutely nuts. I don't understand.
don't get it.
I don't either. I don't understand. It's alarming sometimes.
Yeah.
Especially if you wear a ponytail for several days. And then when you take it out and brush it out,
You're like,
oh my God, it's too much. But which I happened to do this last week too. Lots of ponytails. But yeah,
I think everybody just in general, a lot of ponytails lately.
seriously, I was, and I feel so much better. And I don't remember the last time though I took like 5 days off in a row.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like, I don't have to be anywhere. And that was
So that's where you just lay down and eat. Awesome. Lay down and eat.
Except my mailman got mad at me.
Why?
He left me a terse note.
I was going to say a turd. Like, I think that's more than mad. I think that's psychotic. Oh, the mailman pooped on my front
I think
porch.
that's from personal experience.
What, he left you a
expect
terse?
the word turd. I expect
Well, who
turd.
says the word terse?
Terse.
What are the only other words that start with
Turkey.
My mailman left me a turkey. No, my mailman left me a turn, left me a turkey, left me a turncoat, or a turd. Because you say, I pissed my mailman off, and he left me a duh, obviously, a turd.
A terse note.
What
because my driveway had been cleaned after it snowed, the heavy snow, and everything was cleaned up around my mailbox. I always do all that, right? But then the plows come through.
Right.
And so the guys came. I called somebody to come clean the bottom of the driveway, because the bottom of the driveway, my snowblower can't handle it, and I'm not dealing with it, because it's not just snow anymore.
It's ice and frozen.
A mess.
Dumb, yeah.
And so I said, can you clean that out? Because he's not going to be able to get through. And they didn't show up that day. And so the next day he comes through. And next thing I hear, wee,
Those little boxes.
wee, and I'm like, what the heck? And it kept happening. It just kept going.
Uh-huh.
And I look out the window, and he's out there in his little box trying to go forward, trying to go backward.
On your little hump of snow?
Yes.
Oh, man.
Yes. And then he started, the rear end started to turn into the middle of the street.
Yeah.
So he was kind of sideways, and then he went forward and it went right back where it was. And then it went right back over here, right back where
That's the
Two of my
worst.
neighbors came out. They're just standing there at the end of their driveway.
God forbid, put on your boots.
No, what would I do? He was like in maniac
Because you know
mode.
you would have gotten yelled at. Yeah.
And he wasn't slowing down to let anybody help him.
Yeah.
It's like they were outside. I think they wanted to help, and I had to put pants on. I'm just going to be honest with you at that point. Actually, I just got out of the shower, so my hair was wet too. Not happening. But I was thinking, just keep my mail. Just oh my God, you can't get out now. I know he didn't deliver the mail. He got stuck before he got to the mailbox.
Right.
And he couldn't get, and so I got a note the next day because it was still that way. So now every time I drive up my street, and the guys did come, but they didn't chip away enough of it. And I'm like, so every time I drive, I just plow over it with my truck, trying to knock it down a little bit more. I put it in 4-wheel drive as I'm approaching my house. I can go knock that hump of snow down.
What did his turd say?
It just said, please remove the snow immediately. And around the mailbox, whatever. It's
So
just,
does he know that as soon as somebody tells you to do something, you're going to wait 10 days probably to do it?
I'm going to wait for Mr. Sunshine to help me out is what I'm going to do. But yeah, and I didn't mean for that to happen because I try really hard to make sure that's cleaned out.
Yeah, I know. It sucks because you do everything you can do to clean off your sidewalks and your driveway or whatever, and the plows come through and it's like you never touched it. It's frustrating. But if you wait till the plows come, then people are walking and they're trying to get in. It sucks.
You can't win.
It sucks. There was an old guy that posted in our Nextdoor app this weekend there was a couple that wasn't, and our neighbors didn't. Funny. Our neighbors not only didn't shovel their driveway, didn't shovel the sidewalks or anything. And one of them left their truck. Like when side note, put the old guy aside for a second. Our neighbors that are just dandies.
Yeah.
I've told you about these people before. Like every time, like if you look up what this word in the dictionary, it's a picture of these people. And you think there's nothing they can do that's more stereotypical, that word, than anything. And every week they do something. This last week it was awesome. Friday morning, and I went out to take Sophia somewhere. She had to work. Took her to work. Their car parked on the street, trunk wide open. All the way until yesterday morning, the trunk. So these people obviously read the JT book of vacations, didn't leave their house because they finally came back and their trunk had snow and build up. I don't know if somebody had thrown snow in the back of there or something, but the kid was in there scooping snow out of the back of his trunk in their pajamas.
Of course.
Anyway,
the
back to the old guy. He posted and he had gone over to talk to this couple because this couple, a lot of people in our neighborhood walk their dogs everywhere, like in every neighborhood.
Oh, sure.
And this house is kind of in an area where a lot of people walk. And this couple, they hadn't, not my neighbors, another house, hadn't scooped. And so he just went up to the house, according to his post in Nextdoor, went up to the house and asked them kindly to scoop. And this young couple said, go to hell. We're not going to scoop. And so then he posted this on Nextdoor and just say, hey, this was my experience. So it's not scooped. And that couple chimed in and they said, we're first time homeowners. We didn't realize you had to scoop and shovel. And so people started going back and forth, going after the old guy and after them. It's like, maybe you don't know. I didn't growing up in the country. I was telling Beth this. I didn't realize if I had gone right from my country living into a rental house, I wouldn't have known because we didn't have sidewalks to scoop in the country. You plowed your driveway and that's it.
Right.
But you'd have to tell him to go to hell. It's like if an old guy comes up and asks you, if you don't know what you don't know, then say you don't know. Don't be a jerk.
That's so funny. That's so funny. No, I'm trying to think too. Yeah, as far as scooping.
I never thought about. I mean, you just grab the tractor and plow the driveway, and you never scoop the sidewalk.
Well, no, exactly. You just stomped a path.
Yeah, see, we didn't have sidewalks.
Yeah, as far as the sidewalks, I'm trying to think because I had a long time that it was hard. For a long time, it was hard for me to comprehend the fact that that piece of land that the sidewalk's not mine. But
it's your responsibility.
It's your responsibility.
So it's not yours, it's your responsibility. And if someone falls on it, it's on your insurance, but it's not your land.
But it's not my land.
Typical government bureaucracy.
And right? And so you're like, that's not fair. That's taxation without rip or something.
Right, whatever.
I don't know.
Yeah. British are coming. The British are coming. Whatever.
It's something like that. So anyway, Twitter-wise, there was a really funny post. I'm wondering if you happened to see the post that was put out by the dad who said she's 9.
No, what?
A dad. This made me think of you because remember when you were talking about your son not wanting to go to or couldn't go to school because he couldn't see.
Oh yeah, because the frost on the windshield.
Defrost hadn't covered that yet.
Or scrapey scrape.
Scraper hadn't covered that yet. Apparently in the book of how tos. This guy the guy turns out to be a friend of Ken Jennings.
Oh, Smarty Pants.
Jeopardy guy.
Yeah.
They have a podcast together. And he now has been called Bean Dad. And this started simply enough, but it was a little crazy. The gist was that she was hungry and he told her to make some baked beans. And he was just floored when he found out she didn't know how to run a can opener, a manual can opener. Because most cans nowadays have the pull tabs. But he still had a can of beans that had just a regular, he had to use a can opener. And he looked at it as a teaching moment. 6 hours later, she figured out how to use it.
The one where you squeeze like this? And
yes, and crank, right?
Yeah.
Because she brought the beans to him and she said, what do I do with this? And he says, well, open them. She's like, how? Can opener? And she was like, what are you talking about? He's like, she's 9. He says, what kind of a failure am I at this point?
9's still pretty young to open your own cans.
But
especially if they've been Pop-Tops your whole life.
We grew up doing that because that was part of it. It's
Yeah.
kind of like you've seen the videos of kids that were handed a rotary phone.
Right. We grew up doing it. We know how to do it.
And they're looking at like, what is this?
You would think that just by process of elimination, you'd figure out what to do, but you just don't.
They don't. So it took her 6 hours.
Yeah.
And so for 6 hours, she's hungry. And so people then started child abuse.
Oh, shut up.
And then
she'll never forget how to open a can.
No, she sure won't. And so it got real heated.
Oh my gosh.
He kept posting. He just
Good for him.
Posting this stuff.
That's hilarious.
And then she finally figured out, because people are like, child abuse, 6 hours is what's normally between meals.
Yeah, she's fine.
She's fine. She's right here. She's fine. But we're going to figure out how to open this can. But apparently she broke down in tears once. And then she threw herself on the couch once. And he was telling all this, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, this is awful! How can you do this?" So Bean Dad is out there if you want to check him out.
Or she could have gone and gotten something else to eat.
Right, I would have.
I mean, right?
I would have said, "Dad, this isn't fun anymore."
If you can't figure out that in a few minutes, I'm out. I'm not sure with 100% confidence that my kids know how to run a manual one. To be honest with you,
opener?
Or I mean, because we don't have an automatic one, so I can't imagine them. I don't know. I'll have to ask them tonight.
Have to check your pantry, see how much you have in there that needs a manual can opener, because not a lot do. Like I have cat or dog food that does.
Yeah,
but most of them have pull tabs anymore.
Yeah,
which is so fun. Yeah, they got rid of the pull tabs.
I don't know. We had to go to Beth still has a rental house in Lincoln. We had to got a call. Speaking of kids not knowing really what's going on, the people that were renting it called and something was wrong with their toilet. It ended up being like a chain situation in there. It was just messed up or whatever. We had to go to Lincoln anyway.
My God.
So it wasn't a big deal. And I'm glad we went. because she'd had issues with it before. But before we left the house, it was this rando on a Saturday. Got up at like 8 in the morning to this text and told the kids, texted him, hey, we're heading to Lincoln. We've got to fix a toilet, townhouse. We'll be back in a little bit. And we get back, Bennett's like, so where'd you take the toilet? I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, well, you had to take it to get it fixed somewhere. Where'd you take it to get it fixed? I'm like, no, that's not how you. He goes, oh, I assume you don't take the toilet off and then take it into the shop. I'm like no, you don't. Again, #father failure. No, you don't. Unless something's really bad, then you don't have to take the toilet to the shop. You can usually keep it seated.
That's funny because you just don't think about those things.
No.
And I'm sure the same thing happened when we were kids, but our parents, instead of laughing about it, were just like embarrassed. And just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
They wouldn't dare tell anybody.
Right.
That they didn't know how to do something.
Right.
Oh my God. So, and then besides that one funny post that I saw, I'm going to pass this one along. There were several I wrote down. Trust me, I have material for days. But it just said, Dear Plexiglass, thank you for protecting me from this cashier who just touched everything I'm about to take home.
Right? That's what I feel when I see this touchless delivery, touchless pay system, touchless. It's like Domino's Pizza will get touchless delivery as we touch the back of your car to open it up and put the pizzas you're going to grab when you get home in the back. It's just whatever.
I know. It just made me giggle.
It's funny.
Whatever.
All right.
Happy New Year, guys.
Oh, yeah. We're happy to be back. 402-403-9478. Text us.
Subscribe.
Yes. Subscribe to our podcast and tell your friends or call the people that you're pissed at. Tell them to. Thank you.
Pat and JT Podcast, a Hurrdat Media Production.